Have you ever put your heart and soul into something? Maybe your business, your art, your brand, only to have someone turn around and tear it down in seconds? Maybe you made a mistake and then tried to make it right. You went out of your way, you did everything humanly possible to make the customer happy, but yet they still go on a rant and a tirade. They just won't let the issue go. Maybe they continue to rant. Maybe they left a bad review. You try and you try, but yet they just won't let it go, as if your success somehow personally offends them. Let me ask you something. Have you ever noticed that the loudest critics don't build anything? They don't create. They don't innovate. But yet, they always seem to have something to say about what you or what other people do. Today, we're going to talk about why critics don't create and why their opinions should never stop you from doing what you're built to do. Let's get into it. Not too long ago, I ran a series of YouTube ads for a business experiment that I wanted to get started. And like some other experiments, someone posted a very nasty comment on the ad. They weren't interested in buying what I had to sell. They weren't interested in any meaningful dialogue or helpful commentary. All they really wanted to do was tear down my idea and my concept. Now, for a while, I took this rather personally. I even suspended all work on the project, and I figured that, well, there must just not be a market for this particular commodity. But after thinking about it over some time, actually weeks, which kind of spilled into a couple months, I decided to post this video because I wanted to give you a little bit of encouragement and let you know that in your journey, you're not alone. There's gonna be haters, there's gonna be critics, and there's gonna be people who just don't like what you do, regardless of how well or how poorly you do it. All right, let's start by being a bit real here. There's a massive divide between creators and critics. Someone who builds something and someone who just tears down what others take time to build. One requires courage, creativity, and innovation. The other requires nothing at all. The truth is that creators face risk, ridicule, and criticism every single day. Despite resistance, they step into the world and say, "Here, I made this." They open themselves up to feedback, but yet they keep on moving forward. On the other hand, critics, they just sit on the sideline and throw stones. And most often, the reason why critics throw stones is because they don't have the courage to get on the field themselves and do what creators are doing every day. Why is that? Well, fundamentally, it's because critics ultimately fear the same judgment that they dish out on a regular basis. They don't build because they can't handle what it feels like to be vulnerable. They can't handle being seen, being exposed, putting something that you built out in front of you or out in front of the public to be seen, picked apart, and criticized by others. They just don't have that in them. So what do they do instead? Well, they just pick apart the ones who do. Okay, let's break this down a little bit deeper. Most harsh critics aren't just opinionated. At their core, they're really insecure. It's a psychological fact that people with low self-esteem do their best to elevate themselves by tearing others down. Ultimately, they can't celebrate your progress because it reminds them of their own lack of action. It's much easier to criticize and critique than to create. It's much easier to judge than improve. And it's a whole lot easier to pretend to be an expert than to do the actual work. But here's what they don't understand. Real creators, real innovators, real entrepreneurs, they don't have time to tear other people down. We're too busy learning, experimenting, failing, and leveling up. People who have never poured their heart and soul into something will never understand what it truly costs. The sleepless nights, the financial risk, the emotional toll of putting something out into the world that ultimately might fail. The truth is that critics disrespect the process because they've never had to go through it. Deep down, they think that creating is easy. Success, well, that's just pure luck. And success should come fast. But the truth is, it doesn't. Ultimately, if you've ever been criticized to a point where you just wanted to give up, take heart. We've all been there. See, the truth is that your harshest critics wouldn't last one round in the ring that you constantly fight in day after day. And when it's all said and done, deep down, they know it. That's why their only recourse is to lash out. That's why they mock you, your ideas, and ultimately are jealous of your success. That's why they feel entitled to an opinion, because ultimately they feel like the world owes them attention, even if they've never done anything to earn it. Let's be real. A lot of critics, they're just narcissists in disguise. They don't care about improvement, and they certainly don't want to help you grow. They just want to feel powerful by tearing someone else down. They believe that their opinion is the truth. They think that their voice matters a lot more than your effort. But here's the truth. These same critics lash out at creators for being attention seekers. Yet, they desperately want the attention that comes from thinking outside of the box, from creating something that no one else thought of, from being different in a way that uniquely represents who you are, what you do, and the value that you bring to the world every day. It's important to remember that every snarky comment, every rant, every unsolicited opinion that may or may not make any kind of sense whatsoever, it's just their way of saying, look at me, I matter too. But here's the truth. Critics don't create. Deep down, they don't believe that they're capable of doing it. So again, their only recourse is to tear down what other people have created. So if you're an entrepreneur, artist, writer, any kind of designer, any kind of builder, you need to protect your inner creative energy like your life depended on it. Because in a world full of noise, your focus and your creativity should be viewed as sacred. Deep down, it's all you have in this world that distinguishes you from everyone else. Certainly, don't let people who have never created or built anything in their life convince you to doubt what it is that you're building, what you're creating, what you're working on, what your next big idea is. Their opinion didn't build your business, and it won't break it either. Critics are loud, but remember, progress is quiet. Keep on going. Now, not all critics are external. Sometimes the harshest critics are the ones inside our own head. You know the one I'm talking about. That inner critic that questions your every move. Who do you think you are? What if you fail? You are not good enough. If you've ever battled that voice, you're certainly not alone. That's why I wrote Inner Critic versus Inner Warrior, to help you quiet that destructive inner narrative and unleash the voice that will build you up and help you keep on creating and innovating. You'll learn how to balance self-doubt with self-belief and how to build the kind of inner resilience that keeps you moving forward, even when critics inside or out try to stop you. You can grab your copy of Inner Critic versus Inner Warrior in the description below. If this video resonated with you, go ahead and hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and I'm going to keep on putting out more content that helps you grow. This channel is not about fluff or silliness. It's about real, actionable tips that will help you grow and build your business as an entrepreneur. And if you like, go ahead and drop a comment below. What's one piece of criticism that you've had to push past just to keep on building, just to keep on creating? Let me know in the comments. Until then, keep on doing what you do best, and we'll see you in the next video.